My goikul always bursts open, but Mama's ones, perfect every time. Mama would make it her mission to wrap each one with care and patience for the family. Now let me show you her tips and tricks for succulent and flavorful rice paper rolls that do not burst open.
Mama食飯，媽咪爹哋食飯，ba mẹ ăn cơm.
Hi, I'm Jeanette, and here at Wok and Kin I share my childhood recipes so you can reconnect with yours. For today's recipe, I'll be showing you how to make goikul with all the techniques you need to know so you can make a roll that you'll be proud to show your family. To start, you'll need some pork belly. You want a good ratio of fat to meat so that each bite is juicy. We get it in slabs from the butcher, and the amount you buy really depends on how generous you want the filling to be. You can get them with bone or without bone. If yours comes with bone, just slice to remove each one. Mama saves them and we add it to our stocks so they're not wasted. You'll then need to roll the pork belly slab into a cylinder so that you can tie it before cooking. We use twine for this because it's relatively inexpensive and strong enough to withstand the heat. You want to wrap the twine around the rolled pork belly a few times to secure it in place. Here's Mama's tip: the tighter, the better. She says that this wrapping technique keeps the flavour locked inside the meat. Just keep wrapping until the meat doesn't unroll again. Then tie a knot to secure it in place and begin wrapping the twine around its length. Use the thumb you're holding the pork with to press onto the twine so that you can change its direction and wrap it around the width again. It'll be like a pork parcel by the end of it. Tie a knot, then cut the string and you'll have your meat ready to go. Prepare a pot of water that's full enough to submerge at least 3/4 of the pork. Turn the heat to high and bring it to a boil before placing the pork log in to simmer for an hour or until soft. Add more hot water during the cooking process if it runs below 3/4 of the way. You want all sides to cook evenly. Now, you won't be needing that cooking water for your rice paper rolls, and if you're wondering what you can do with it, at home we almost always have congee with our goikul, and that's where we use the pork broth. For the salad, you'll need some lettuce. We like to use green oak leaf lettuce because it has a mild flavour and is readily available at our supermarket. It's also very tender, which helps to prevent the lettuce from ripping the rice paper apart. Otherwise, iceberg lettuce is also another great choice. It's crisp and fresh, which will add lots of texture to your rice paper rolls. We also love it because it has a sweetness to it that complements the pork and the prawns. Next, the mint. Mint adds a freshness to the goikul. You want to find the ones with leaves that aren't too long or discoloured. The larger the leaves, the older and tougher they are. The perilla leaves. They come in green or purple varieties, and depending on what's available, we like to get both. Now, with all the herbs, you can choose your favourite ones. If any one of them isn't available, then just skip it altogether and use more of another herb. Next, Thai basil. You'll be familiar with this herb from pho, but you can definitely use it for goikul as well. It's one of those staples in Vietnamese cuisines because its flavour is milder than other herbs, so you can enjoy it in many recipes. Now, Vietnamese coriander. These have a peppery kick, and they also have a wonderful fragrance that goes a long way. Despite the name, Vietnamese coriander does not taste like coriander. For bean sprouts, Mama always rinses them and lets them sit in cool water because they brown very easily. Now, if you want to get the children involved in this recipe, an easy job they can take part in is to pull off the tail ends of the bean sprouts. I know I've pulled many off as a little girl. The last of the herbs is the garlic chives. When you bite into it, you'll get to enjoy the hit of a sweet, garlicky flavour. They're also used as decoration, and when you roll your goikul, part of it is deliberately left to stick out. To prepare the greens, we start by separating the lettuce leaves. This makes it easier to wash and get rid of any dirt. You can let it sit in a colander while you work on the rest of the herbs. Use scissors or your hands to cut or pluck the leaves from your stems. For the larger leaves, snip them separately. If they're smaller, you can cut them in groups. These days, Mama often prepares the herbs for me while I cook, but when I do have a moment to spare, I like to join in with her. By the end, you'll have all the greens and colanders ready to be washed. We like to wash the lettuce and the herbs separately because it makes it easier to keep them apart as you wrap. To start washing them, fill a sink or a large bowl with cool water. You'll need to have enough to submerge all the greens. Then add 3 tablespoons of salt and pour the herbs in. Rinse and let them sit in the water for 5 to 10 minutes. This will help to remove any dirt and parasites. In another sink, do the same for the lettuce and garlic chives. After the greens have soaked for 5 to 10 minutes, transfer them into a colander. But that's not the end of it. Repeat the salt and rinsing steps another 2 to 3 times to really clean the greens. Then let them drip dry in colanders while you work on the other ingredients. By now, the pork leg should be ready to go. Scoop it out of the pot. The meat will be soft and tender for your rice paper rolls. Remove the string and slice off the outer skin layer. This is entirely optional, but Mama prefers it a little leaner. Then thinly slice the log and divide the slices into smaller pieces. For the prawns, we buy cooked prawns from the seafood market because it's easier. To prepare them, just de-shell each one. Mama likes to halve them so they're easier to wrap with, but you can certainly leave them whole if that's what you prefer. With the noodles, we use thin rice noodles. In Vietnamese, they're called bún and are often sold dried. They're semi-translucent with a hint of a milky white colour. When cooked, they'll turn white completely. But don't mistake them for Chinese noodles called mei fan. Mei fan's springier texture is more ideal for dishes like XO pipis with vermicelli. They're also not made using oil, whereas bún is. To cook the bún, fill up a pot of water with enough to submerge the noodles, then bring it to a boil. As soon as it does, add the noodles in and let it cook for 10 minutes or until al dente. Make sure to stir it from the base every few minutes so it doesn't stick to the pot. When it's ready, pour it into a colander and let cool water run through it to stop it from cooking any further and becoming mushy. Once it's cool to touch, let it drip dry. For the rice paper, you're after the one that's dry and partly see-through. They're thin and come in many different sizes. There are also many brands that make rice paper, so trial the ones available to you to find your favourite. When preparing them, bring some water to a boil. Pour it in a large heat-safe bowl and set it amongst all the other ingredients. At home, we like to keep our pork and prawns closest to us while the herbs are just behind them. This makes it easier for wrapping because you're not reaching over anything. As a child, I would walk into the kitchen to find Mama and Mum standing next to this wrap and roll station as they rolled enough gỏi cuồng for the entire family. But if you want to make it a bonding experience for your whole family to enjoy, you can get everyone around the table and each person wraps and eats as they go. To make a gỏi cuồng, quickly rotate one rice paper in the water until the surface is wet. Do not leave it in there to soften. Place it on a plate that's large enough to easily fit one. Put some lettuce at the bottom of the rice paper. Don't worry if the rice paper isn't soft yet, it will soften as you go. Place some herbs on top and then the bean sprouts. Add some noodles over the bean sprouts so that its weight holds everything in place. Slide 2 to 3 slices of pork belly just under the top of the lettuce. We do this so that when it's rolled, you can see the pork. Do the same with the prawns by sliding them slightly under the pork belly. You can add 1 or 2 pieces. Lift the bottom of the rice paper up and over the filling. Use your fingers to tuck everything inside. Now pull the roll towards you to tighten the filling. Begin rolling up, pressing down hard to keep things tight. When you've rolled up a little, fold the right and left sides in until they touch the end of the filling. Then continue to roll up. As you're about to finish, take one garlic chive, fold it in half if you have to, and wedge it into the roll. Then continue to roll up until you have your first hoi kung. And there you have it, Mama's rice paper rolls wrapped and filled with juicy pork and prawns and fresh herbs. To perfect them, here are our family tips for the best results. Number 1, have everything laid out in front of you. It makes it much easier to grab and go. Number 2, use fresh ingredients. These days I buy my herbs the morning of so that they're super fragrant and full of texture when I make them that same day. Number 3, use not 1 but 2 plates. This is so that you can rest one damp rice paper on a plate to soften just enough for when you're ready to wrap the next one. There's something so incredibly satisfying about dipping that first rice paper roll into a hoisin peanut sauce and taking that very first bite. Hoi kung is not just about fresh herbs and its amazing combo. It's about the quiet conversations you have with your family, the teamwork everyone takes place in to make this recipe come to life, and to the appreciation you have for your family when they make food you love to eat. I never appreciated the dish as a child because I couldn't stand the strong taste of the herbs. But now, as an adult, I adore each herb's distinct flavour because I can taste how they work together to complete a hoi kung. I now sit alongside Mama and appreciate all the love and care she puts into rolling each one for us. And as I watch her, I learn from her. I learn at exactly which points to fold the rice paper and how much pressure to use. These are the memories that you can't learn from simply reading about. You have to watch patiently and learn from those who do it best. Because those who do it best, those who roll them perfectly, are just like you. And by the end of it, everyone's rewarded with some plump rice paper rolls loaded with your favourite ingredients. You can find the full written recipe on our family blog, wokingkin.com, where we share step-by-step instructions so you can cook at your own pace. Now, if this recipe reminded you of home, remember to like and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to learn another homey Vietnamese dinner recipe, check out Mama's Vietnamese braised fish, and I'll see you in the next video.